Okay, so this morning we're going to do a class starting the first sort of 10 minutes sitting on a yoga block. We're going to be doing some breathing exercises and some spine mobility movements. So you want to be sitting, if you don't have a yoga block, you want to sit on a pile of coffee table books. Even a stool is okay. So something where you can comfortably sit up is ideal, and we also want to have a band. So if you have a band or a scarf, something to give you a bit of feedback on your rib movement. So you want to be able to sit comfortably. So I'm sitting cross-legged on a stool. It's a bit easier to sit up. If this is not a comfortable position for you, then sit up on a few more blocks, or even a stool, something where you're high enough so that your hips are totally happy. Okay. If you sit up and just try and feel your two little bony sit bones on the bottom of your pelvis, and you can kind of lean back so that you feel the weight is behind your sit bones. You can kind of tip forward so that you feel the weight is in front of your sit bones. And you can kind of do that a little bit, and then find where you really feel you're truly on top of them. So the weight is going through your body right on top of those sit bones, okay? And that's how we want to sit when we do this breathing exercise. Now, if you have your band, you're going to take your band around the side of your body, around the back of your rib cage. If you can, you want to have the band a bit sort of flat and wide, and you want to have it around the lower rib area. Okay, from here, we're just going to bring it around and cross it in front of us. So it's a little bit crisscross, and we just want to feel that it's on the sort of lower ribs to mid ribs area of our side and back. Okay, once you have it there, it's crossed over. Just take a moment to find yourself sitting right on top of your sit bones again. Relax your shoulders and try to deliberately feel that they're just nice and easy. And then all we're going to try and do for a couple of moments is just actually breathe really calmly into that band. So when you're ready, take a slow breath in and try and feel as you're breathing in, you're pushing into your band and really widening your ribs. And as you breathe out, gently put on your strap so that it encourages the rib cage to close more. And then you've got more room to widen as you inhale, so you've got more movement on the inhale. And then breathing out. And just keep doing it. Keep trying to feel it in your body. We're trying to widen the back ribs and try and really get that mid-back and rib area moving. This is an area of the body that does become stiffer very commonly as we get older, and we start to breathe shallow breaths into our chest, overuse our neck a bit, and we're not breathing quite deep enough and using our ribs, and therefore using our diaphragm, okay? So when we're stacked up like this, our rib cage is over our pelvis and we're moving our ribs a lot, we should feel that that's going to help encourage our diaphragm to move as it's designed to move. So there's less neck and shoulder kind of movement and more mid-back. Now this is a way to train your core as well. So it's just see if you can feel that a little bit. And as you breathe in, feel the ribs widen. And as you breathe out, as the ribs close, gently feel your abdominal muscles are gently hugging around you, like a corset. And perhaps even noticing the pelvic floor muscles are lightly lifting. So we inhale, the diaphragm lowers, the pelvic floor lowers. And as we exhale, the pelvic floor lifts, the diaphragm lifts. It's all working together like a little orchestra. One more time. And breathe. Now let's just let go of the band, put it down away from you a little bit out the spot, and just relax your arms and just try and breathe still like this. So really getting the ribs moving, feeling a sense of calm through your body, and imagining that lowering and lifting of your diaphragm. It's a very large muscle that sits under the rib cage. Really important for posture, for good body functions, for efficiency in breathing and movement. And when our ribs get stiff, our back gets stiff, we're not able to kind of utilize that as well. Now we're going to start going through some movements of our spine that are designed to free up this exact area, free up the ribs and mid-back. So to start with, just sweep your arms up to the side and reach up to the ceiling. And imagine you're really trying to elongate your spine. So you're taller, there's a little more space between your back bones. And then interlace your hands above your head and spin your arms around so that your palms are going to face up. Now we're going to do a little side bend. And as you side bend, breathe in and try and feel that you're opening this part of your rib area. And then come back to center, and you're going to side bend the other way and try and feel you're opening this other rib, breathing into it. One more time each way, kind of big breath, really opening the rib cage. And last one, just a little upper back side bend. And come down. And we're going to let our arms fall, and I'm going to bring my right hand onto my left knee. And I'm going to do a really gentle twist. So I'm going to use my arms to help, look over my shoulder, twist myself and look behind me. And then I'm going to come through center and do that gentle twist the other way. So no force, gently move your spine, rotate, look over your shoulder. And we just do it one more time each side, very simple. This exact area of our back is where we get the tight spots very often. Breathe as you're twisting. Don't force it, just try and let your back move. One more time. And then come back. Now, let your fingertips lightly touch the floor, if you're on a yoga block, that is. Take one arm up to your side, and then we're going to side bend a little bit over. And now we're going to bring the arm forward and look down at that knee and try and feel that you're opening up this area of the back ribs and breathe into it. And then come up. We do that the other side. You might notice one side of your body is a little tighter than the other, or there's some imbalances in most of us. So side bend and then a little forward and then breathing into your back. And then coming back up and coming to center. Now we're just going to finish with a little neck release. And so this is just stretching those neck muscles that can become a little bit aggravated and overworked. So if you just take your right arm again up and let it drape over your head, you're going to just let your head tilt. The weight of your head is gently stretching your neck. You're not pulling on it, you're just holding into a gentle neck stretch, and just take a little breather. And then we're going to change other side. So just let the arm drape over the head, side bend the neck, and find a gentle stretch down the side of the neck muscles. And then come back around and do one more time. Interlace your hands in front of you, spin your arms around and round your back. So if I go sideways, I'm trying to now curve my back and then breathe and get the whole spine kind of curved and breathing into the back. And then come back up, okay? Good, and then just finish with some shoulder rolls, just to sort of loosen up. And just doing this first little 5-minute sequence, if you've been sat in a car all day or been at a desk or something, just breathing and freeing up your back is just a really nice thing to do, and it should feel good. Okay, we're going to come off our little block now, so you can move that out to the side. And we're going to continue, before we get going with the actual Pilates exercises, we're going to do a bit more back mobility. So if you come onto your hands and knees, and we're just going to start with some more cat stretches. And as you're rounding and extending your spine, breathe. And think of that breath and that mid-back moving, letting the head follow the spine, and just trying to free up the movement in our back. One more time. Find a flat back and then take your right arm off, and we're going to twist into a spine twist. Look up to the ceiling. And then you're going to take that same arm all the way through and let your shoulder come to the floor. And then take the same arm forward in front of you, straight arm, and look at your fingertips. Press down your armpit to the floor, and you should feel this is a great shoulder stretch and a little bit of upper back as well. And then bring your hand down. We're going to repeat that on the other side. So if you twist, look up to the ceiling, twist the back. Go all the way through into a thread the needle. And then bring yourself up, take that palm in front of you, straight on, press down. And then come back. Now we're going to sit back on our heels into a rest position. So it's very gentle. Let yourself round down. Let your forehead, if you can, just gently rest to the floor. And again, just breathe into your back as if you still had the band there. So you're still trying to get that back expansion. And from here, if we take our two hands like we do in class sometimes to one side, long arms, breathe into your side. And then walk your hands across to the other side, breathe into that side rib. And then bring your hands onto your front. Come onto your hands and knees. We're going to just do a little knee hover balance in this position. So knees are under hips. I'm going to tuck my toes. I'm going to lift up my abdominals and I'm going to see if I can just hover my knees off the floor. So push the floor away. See if you can float up your knees and you're just holding your own body weight and just breathing. So this is a bit of strength work, a bit of a strength challenge, holding ourselves in this position. And then letting the knees rest down. We're going to do one more set. So we're going to lift up the abdominals, press into the floor, let your knees float up a centimetre. Now, if you're feeling super duper strong and fit, you can make this slightly more challenging by just lift up a foot an inch. And then swap. And imagine you're balancing something on your lower back. So you're not shifting too much on your back, but you're just transferring the weight from leg to leg. Trying to keep everything else steady. And then I'm going to rest my knees down. Good. Okay, give your wrists a little shake. So we're going to come and lie on our back now and actually start the Pilates exercises, which are more strengthening. But having done this mobilization at the beginning, perhaps you'll feel your back is a bit freer already. Okay, so we're going to lie ourselves down on our back. Remember, if you normally use a head support, you can use that. That's individual, depending on your own body. Make sure that you're comfortable when you're lying down, no strain in the neck. And then let's just put your hands on your ribs again and just remind yourself of that calm rib breathing. So just settling the mind, concentrating on that breath, just kind of feeling your back. Actually relax a little bit. Sometimes when we first lie down, the back's a little tense and the back is a little arched. We want to just let the back relax a bit. Good. Now, relax your arms down at your side, and we're going to start with some very gentle pelvic tilts. So all we're going to do is sort of deepen the lower abdominals, flatten the lower back, and let your tailbone just lift up. And then release it down. This is a small movement. Breathing out, deepening the tummy muscles, tilting the pelvis. Finding that scoop, that feeling in your low belly, and then level. Last time. So you're going to breathe out and scoop. Now pause in your tilt and try and really make a good low abdominal connection. Try and feel those muscles in your mind, a good connection both sides. Now we're going to level our pelvis, but only as level as you can still feel your low abdominal connection. Okay? Feel where your weight is under your pelvis. We're going to breathe out and just try and pick up a foot off the floor without any shifting in our pelvis. Put it back down. Breathe out, find your deep abs and pick up the other leg. Doesn't even have to be tabletop. If you can't tell if you're shifting your pelvis or not, try just putting two fingertips on your front hip points. And when you pick up a foot, we want to watch there isn't a twist happening or there's no movement, the pelvis is still. And this is an indication if you're able to stabilize your pelvis and finding those kind of deeper core muscles. Let's make them a little bigger as you get used to it. So perhaps coming all the way to tabletop, feeling those abdominals, trying to just move your leg. And last one. Now we're going to make it a bit harder. So keep that connection to your lower abdominals and see if you can pick up two legs. Breathe. Now we're going to try and make it harder still by doing alternate toe taps. So just letting one leg travel down and tap the floor and then the other. Now keep breathing, watching that your back doesn't start to lift off the mat. You're breathing, you're keeping the same spine as you move your hips. It's a challenge, not an easy exercise. And then we're going to bring our feet down 1, and then down 2, and then relax again. Take your feet to be hip distance apart and spread your toes and really feel your feet on the floor. And we're going to go into some pelvic curls. So from here, we're going to deepen our abdominals, tilt the pelvis, and then you're going to peel your spine up away from the mat. Think of reaching the knees forward and really standing on your feet. And then we're going to roll down vertebra by vertebra, all the way down the spine until your tailbone's down. And we're going to keep repeating it. So deepen the abdominals, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine off the mat. Take a breath in at the top. And then roll down through the spine. Try to watch that you're not skipping the tight spots. So you have to really pay attention, feel the work in your body. You don't have to watch me, try and feel it in your own body. Where does your back get a little bit stuck on this? Or can you feel one side is more dominant than the other with your hips? Just try and individually think of your body as you're doing all the exercises. And roll the spine back down. Now we're going to roll up one last time and hold our bridge. So if you deepen the abdominals, peel the spine up and roll up into your bridge. Now just hold yourself here and check your feet. Are both feet flat? Can you feel big toe joint, little toe joint heel? Can you press down a bit more with the feet? And could you tuck under with your pelvis more? So more tuck, more feet pressing down will mean more glutes engaging. Okay, keep that happening, keep feeling your feet and curling the tail under. We're going to make it a little harder still. I want you to imagine I've come along and put a bag of sand on your low belly. You're going to tip your pelvis as if you're pouring the sand off one side, and then square up, and then tip the pelvis the other way as if you're pouring the sand off your body that way, and then square up. Now keep doing these little sandbag pours. As you pour to one side, reach the opposite knee forward and return. Pour to the other side, reach the opposite knee, stand into the foot. And back. What you should be feeling is your glutes are getting some strength work. A little bit of burn going on in those muscles. And up. One more time each side. Reach and press into the foot. And press. I've got one more to go, I think. So we're waking up the back of our hips. Square up. And then roll the spine down. And then just relax the hips. Okay, we're going to take our hands behind our head and move on into some abdominal curl-ups. So initially just a very basic exercise of chest lift. We're going to breathe out, lift the chest up and glance over your knees. And then lengthening the spine back down. Try to watch that the pelvis is staying still. So I'm not tucking. My hip flexors aren't taking over. I'm just curling up with a stable pelvis. And all the way down. If you notice you're tucking quite a lot, try pressing your feet more into the floor and see if that will help you wake up the back of your legs a bit more. Now hold it on this one, reach your arms long, grab onto your legs and see if you can lift your chest up a tiny bit further without tucking the pelvis if you can help it. Now breathe. Remember our breathing from the beginning, wide ribs. And then on the breath out, deepening the tummy. Inhale, wide ribs. Exhale, deepening the tummy. Now we're going to see if we can put our hands back behind our head and then rest the head down. Okay, now we're going to do the actual Pilates 100, which is a challenging exercise next. So make sure you do a version that's the right one for you this morning. If you're injured, recovering from illness, a beginner, any back issues or pelvic floor issues, keep your feet on the floor, much more supported. If you're strong and fit, you're going to do tabletop or maybe straight, okay? So let's all reach our arms to the ceiling. Choose the right level with your legs. I'm going to start with tabletop, okay? So from here, we're going to curl our chest and head up. So you can do tabletop. If you're fit and you have a regular Pilates exercise habit, straighten your legs to add a bit more challenge. And we're going to breathe, breathing in and breathing out. Nothing moves but the arms and the breath. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a challenging exercise. It's a breathing exercise. Of course, it's warming up your core. It's strengthening your core. And out. 2 more times. If you feel strong, try lowering your legs a little bit for the last 2. It should be tough. Last one, in and out. Hug your knees in, rest your head, give yourself a little break, and then we're going to rock up to sitting. So flick your legs, rock yourself up. We're going to start with a half roll back. So reaching out the arms, rounding the spine into what we call our C curve, a lifted C curve, and we're going to rotate the pelvis under, curl the tailbone under to round back, and then breathe out to round forward. And again, inhale to round back, and then exhale to round forward. So we're building up our abdominal strength in this exercise, rounding back, and then breathing out and rounding forward. Okay, now we're going to move on to the right choice for you, your body again. If you're somebody who can roll up and you can manage the full roll up, straighten your legs, do full roll ups. If you want to use a prop to support it, you can grab your band. You could put a magic circle in your heels, use a prop that helps you achieve the exercise, or keep going with your half roll back. Okay, so you've got lots of options to help you achieve the exercise. You can walk down your legs. This is an option for helping give you a bit more help and support. Breathing. And eventually you're progressing to what is the full roll up, which is rolling all the way down without any support, hugging your legs together. Nice and smooth, keep breathing throughout. That's it. So one more time, whichever version you're doing. And then we're going to finish lying on our back. So wherever you are in your exercise, roll yourself onto your back. You can use your hands, bring yourself down, bring your feet in, and we're going to stretch our hips a bit here. So take your right leg to tabletop, interlace your hands, press your leg a little forward, and then we're going to just stretch and bend our knee a few times. And as you're stretching and bending, try and reach your sit bone down, so you're lengthening that hamstring by reaching the tail down and the leg up. Hold your leg up there. Now look at your foot and flex and point your ankle. The biggest ankle movements you can get. And you'll be increasing that stretch down into the back of the hip. Last one. Good. Put that foot down. Take the other leg, hands behind the thigh. Press a little forward. And you're going to stretch and bend on this leg. Just a quick limber. Reaching the sit bone down. Hold the leg there, and then you're going to point and flex the ankle. Good, and then placing the foot down. We're going to move into the single leg circle. So for this exercise, straighten your legs out long. If your hips feel tight, you can do that version with bent knees, that's also fine. Relax your body, feel nice and tall. You're going to anchor your left leg and then bend your right leg up, and you're taking your knee over your hip. Okay, really anchor that other leg onto the floor. Feel your middle, pelvic stability. We're going to cross the leg over, circle it down, round and up. And again, cross, down, round, up. Cross, down, round, up. Now keep trying to keep the rest of you stable by pressing down the other leg on the floor and trying to feel your center. And we're going to reverse. Out, down, round, up. Out, down, round, up. Out, down, round, up. One more time. Bend the knee in, take a little rest. Stretch it out long. Now we're going to anchor our right leg. This is stabilizing still leg. Left leg, knee over hip. If you have tight hamstrings, keep the leg bent. If your quad grips, keep the leg bent. If you're able to, you straighten your leg up. Okay? When we're ready, we're going to go across the body, round and up. Cross, round, up. Now try and feel your center. So you're strong, the other leg is pressing down. One more time, and then reverse it. Out, round and up. Out, round and up. Two more. Last one, and then hug in. Now to transition to sitting, if you're a roll-up person, you're going to do a roll-up. If you are a half roll-back person, you're going to hug your knees in, and you're going to rock up. Bring yourself a little forward. Now, if you were a half roll-back person on the roll-ups, you hold behind your knees. This is a position which will help you curve your lower back more, which is the right choice if you're not quite there with the roll-up yet. If you were able to do a full roll-up, hold your ankles and make your balls smaller, okay? Choose the right position for your body, balance. Try and feel your deep abs. Imagine you're curling your tailbone to your heels, and we're going to roll like a ball. So we're going to inhale, roll back. Exhale, rock up and pause. Inhale, deepen the belly, roll back. Exhale, roll back and pause. Don't worry if you do a couple of dodgy ones. It's all practice, Pilates. Not about being perfect. One more time. And up. Bring your feet down, shift your hips back. We're going to roll down onto our back and do the abdominal series. So round yourself down. This series is about just general strengthening up of your hips and your abdominals. So if you need to skip an exercise, skip it. We're going to start with the single leg stretch. So when you're ready, bring your legs up to tabletop. Curl the chest up. Reach your two arms onto one shin, reach out the other leg. Now roll your shoulders back and feel your shoulders on your back. We're going to breathe, switch, pulse, breathe, and breathe. You're stretching your hips, you're working your abdominal strength, and breathe. Now, could you be a bit taller? Could you lift your chest a bit higher off the floor? One more time each leg. Then we're going to hug our legs in and rest our head down. Give your head a little roll about for a break. We're going to next time we're going to do our double leg stretch. So really press your heels together, like you're holding your winning lottery ticket in your heels. Lift your chest up. Now, deepen your abdominals and really press your heels together, okay? To start with, we're going to reach our arms and legs up high. This would be a beginner version, and then circle in, okay? So beginner, legs and feet to the ceiling. Now, if you're stronger, you've been doing Pilates longer, you start to lower your legs out and in. Make sure your back doesn't arch. If you're not strong enough for low legs, keep the legs high and keep your heels tight together. Two more times. Inhale and exhale. Last one. And good. Rest your head. Give yourself a little head roll. Okay, our last one we're going to do is the crisscross. So for this one, we put the hands behind the head. So if you interlace your hands, place them behind your head, and then when you're ready, you're going to breathe out and lift your chest up. Now, just slide out one leg and twist to the opposite knee, and we're going to pause here. This is a really challenging position. See if we can add a bit more twist in our mid-body. So it's that twisting in the mid-back. We're going to do 3 times swapping and then pause. So breathe out and swap, breathe out. Breathe out. Now breathe out and hold. Could you improve it? Could you twist a tiny weeny bit more? And again, breathe 1, breathe 2, breathe 3, hold, hold, hold. Last set. 1, 2, 3, hold, hold. Last time. 1, 2, 3, hold, hold, and then rest your head down. Take a breather. Let your knees have a little roll about. Now, if you're a roll-up person, you know what you're going to do. You're going to stretch out long and do a roll-up. If you're not yet a roll-up person, you're going to hug your knees into your chest and you're going to do a rock-up. Now, we're going to move on to our spine stretches. If you have your block nearby, it's actually really good to sometimes sit on a block to make sure you're really upright. So I don't need one, but I'm going to sit on one to show you what I mean. When you're up a few inches higher, it's easier to lift up in your lower back, okay? Often in this position, we end up a bit slouched because it's hard on our hips, okay? So when we get better hip mobility, it's easier to sit up. So that's what we're hoping to improve over time, the ability to sit up in the hips, okay? So sit up nice and tall, feel as if you're lifting up the spine, reaching your head to the ceiling and pulling back the ankles, Okay, so the legs are not relaxed, they are working, and you're sitting up as tall as you can be. Float out your arms, take a breath in. As you breathe out, nod your head, round your spine. Imagine you're peeling your spine off a wall and you're reaching past your feet into your spine stretch. And then roll the spine up and try and stack your back up and sit really tall. Breathe in and then breathe out. Round, roll forward, stretch out your back. And then roll the spine up, sit up really tall. One more time so we grow forward as we breathe in, and then we round. Keep pulling back the ankles, keep pulling back the waist, and then roll back up. Good, now keep sitting tall, just take your arms to the side, and we're going to do a really simple twist. Firstly, try and get that elongation, so the spine is trying to lift up tall, and then we're going to just rotate and look over your shoulder, come through center, go the other way. Now keep a check-in on your legs. Are they absolutely still, or is there some shifting in your legs and feet? Try and keep the stable pelvis, and it'll help you feel the rotation in your back. Now we're going to go to side number one and go into the saw. So we reach across. My opposite hand is going to try and reach for my little toe. My other arm is reaching up behind me in that position. Bring yourself back up and unwind. Lift and twist. We're going to reach across. Back arm is trying to lift. Bring yourself up and across. Now this is an exercise where we're really moving those ribs and mid back. So it's really kind of helping you warm up and get that part of your body moving. Last time. Reach across. Come up and unwind. And we're going to relax. We're going to come off our block if you were on one. We're going to lie on our tummy for some swan preparation. Okay, so flip yourself around to lie on your front. Hands are going to be flat, elbows pointing back, feet relaxed. Firstly, just try and feel that your pelvis is level. So it will mean hip points, pubic bone level, a bit of lift in the tummy, and then I'm trying to grow really, really tall. As I breathe in, I'm going to lift my chest. I'm going to look across the floor in front of me and try and roll my shoulders back. And if you imagine you're pulling back your hands as if you're pulling your mat under you, it might help you feel your upper back, a little more muscularity in the upper back. And then come back down. Grow tall and then extend the upper back. Look out in front of you. And down. Now, if you find this is a hard exercise for you, focus on elongation. If you're not able to find the extension yet, you want to keep lengthening first. So you're lengthening, and then the next stage would be to arch. And then come down. Now, slide your hands under your forehead, rest your head. We're going to just go into some hip extension here. So you're going to lift up one leg behind you. And then what you're trying to keep is the pelvis still, so that if your groin is staying down and your leg is lifting, this is going to be using your hamstrings and your glutes. Okay, try that on the other leg. And we're just checking we don't feel it in our lower back, but you feel it in your hips. Okay, now if this is a challenging exercise for you, just stay with singles. But if you're able to, you're going to float up both legs. And then if you can, press both heels together. So you're really squeezing your leg bones together. Think of reaching your pubic bone down and your thigh bones up. And you should feel that's really working your backside a lot and your hamstrings, and then relax the legs down. Okay, one more time. So lift the tummy, pelvis level, float the legs up, hug them together. If you feel a bit of pinching in your lower back, keep your legs wide. But if you feel that's okay on your body, if you're able to get the legs together, that's a really good, strong position. And then relax. Now we're going to do two ends together. So slide the hands back to where they were a moment ago. Find the abdominals, feel the tallest body you can be. And you're going to lift your chest up, lift your two legs up. And then if you feel good, hug the legs together as the progression. Roll the shoulders back. Try and imagine you're like a long banana, that kind of shape. And then all the way back down. One more time. So lift the tummy, Lift the legs. This is strengthening the whole back line of your body, which is super important to keep our posture as we get older. So we're trying to not let ourselves get rounded forward, strengthen our back, and then all the way down. Okay, we're going to sit back in our heels in that rest position. So sit yourself back, knees apart, feet together, round your spine. Take a little break and a couple of breaths. And try and breathe into your back in that rest position. Sorry, I've got a itchy nose. And try and breathe in, get your back to relax a bit. Okay, now if you come back onto hands and knees, and we're going to do a little weight bearing challenge on our arms. So wrists are under shoulders. Take one leg back and tuck your toes. Okay, and you're going to rock your heel back until you feel a really good stretch in your calf, your Achilles and your calf muscle. And then push through your 10 to 5 toes actually and rock forward. And again, rock back. Propel yourself forward with those toes pushing. This is what should be happening when we walk, is that forward push comes from that big toe and the foot and ankle. Good. And then find kind of halfway, keep the tummy lifted, and you're going to step up into a plank. And we're just going to hold ourselves here and breathe. If you feel you need to take a break, take a break. If you're okay, just stay here for a little bit longer. And then take your first knee down, and we're going to do a little ankle rocker. So rock back, stretch out the calf, the Achilles, push forward through the 5 toes. And you're thinking of almost propelling yourself forward. Really good ankle stretch. And a bit of a wrist stretch you'll feel. Now, if you're okay, you're going to step up into plank again. Now, if you feel your wrists are happy doing this, it's a bit more advanced. The double leg rock. You rock all the way over onto your toes and back. This is strong on your wrists. So if you're not yet used to this, just stay in a normal plank. One more time. And down. And then we're going to come down onto our knees. And give your wrists a little shake out. And swing your legs around. Okay, we're going to roll onto our back in a moment and do another bridging exercise, and with the option of going into a single leg bridge. So round yourself down again. You can use your arms, you can do a roll back, bring yourself down onto your back again. Have your feet apart, spread out the toes. Have a breath, just let your back settle again. So nice and calm. Okay, now feel your feet, because our feet and our hips are really like a partnership. So notice what's going on in them when you do a bridge. Can you keep your big toe knuckle, your little toe knuckle and your heel like a tripod, okay? Do a normal plain pelvic curl. So we're going to tilt the pelvis and you're going to peel your back up and keep thinking about your feet, the tripod. Reach the knees forward and press the feet into the floor. And then try and curl your tail under more, reach the knees more, and then you should be really feeling your glutes. And then roll down through your back. Okay, so level 1, option 1 is to continue 2 feet down doing some bridges, okay? If you're injured or you know you're a bit of a beginner or this is hard for you, do the same one. A harder version we're going to do next, if you feel that's good for you today, is to roll up through your spine again. Get a solid position on 2 feet, so don't rush. Press the feet into the floor, reach the 2 knees, and then try and keep trying to curl the pelvis. So it's posterior tilt of the pelvis, it's called. Curl the tail under, pubic bone up. This is going to stretch your quads, it's going to strengthen your backside, and really press into the floor. Now, slowly shift onto 1 foot and lift the other leg to tabletop, and then pause. Now, really press into the foot on the floor and keep your hips high and keep pushing the floor away. And then we're going to do 4 times, tap and lift the other leg. Keep thinking about the foot on the floor. Can you press the floor more? So you're strengthening your back hip muscles. When you've done about 4, put your foot down. We're going to take a break. So you're going to roll through your spine and give yourself a little break. And then we're going to go for side 2. Okay, so feel your feet again. Really, those little details really help. Tilt the pelvis, roll up, Keep trying to get a better position, so a bit more curl under with the pelvis, knees reaching forward. When you're ready, shift onto the other leg, take up the other leg. Now press down into the floor and reach that knee forward. And we're going to do 4 times. Lower and lift. Tap and lift. Couple more. Put your foot down, breathe out, roll your back down onto the floor. And then stretch out your arms and legs. Just take a lovely big breath in. Enjoy the stretching point, flex your feet a little bit. And then we're going to roll onto our side for a bit of side body work. So when you're lying on your side, we're going to do a line on the back edge of your mat. So if you're on a mat like mine, a yoga mat, I'm lying on the back edge of my mat. Unless your shoulder's injured, if you lie with your head on your arm, it's giving you a shoulder stretch. And if that's too strong, just prop yourself up with a towel. And if you can, this is a good stretch for your shoulder. Your arms are in front of you, toes on the front of the mat. And then my legs are stacked together. My tail is at the back of my mat, so I haven't tucked my bum. My back has got natural curves, okay? Putting the front hand on the mat, and then I'm going to lift my top leg 2 inches, and then I'm going to try and reach my top leg a little bit longer. And when you do that, you should feel your underside lift. So now my pelvis is square. This hip is on top of that hip, essentially. Bring the leg back in line with your body and keep reaching that leg longer. Now I'm going to press down with my bottom thigh and press up with my top thigh and lower down to the floor. Press up, both legs pull apart, push apart, and then down. Up and down. Now, you should feel your side hips a lot. If you're stable in your pelvis, you will feel a lot more. So watch that you're not losing your mouse hole, but you're stable in your middle. And then hold the leg up. Imagine your leg is trying to reach an inch longer, like you're reaching your leg out of your hip. And we're going to do 8 little circles. 1, try and circle a bit behind you so that you feel the back hip muscles. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Now relax that leg, and then you're going to bring your top leg and slide it onto the floor and rest it. And we're going to lift up our underside leg. So this is inner thigh. Lift it up and down. Lift it up and down. Set 2 more times. And down, and then slide both legs together. Our last one, we're going to lift up both legs and then bring them in line with your body and try and imagine you're really, really tall. And you're going to lift both legs up and down. Breathe out, lift up and down. 2 more. So this is the side waist you should feel, and you do squash your mouse hole on this one. So the hip is hiking a bit. Hold it up. See if you can maybe take a balance. Lift each end a bit more. And then rest down. Okay, I'm going to come onto my forearm and do a side body support here. So I'm going to do it on my knees. So I'm going to bring my knees back, lift my underside, push my forearm down, and just try and lift up my hip. Okay, so I'm working a side support exercise. Hold, keep pushing the floor away, and then rest your hip down. Okay, we can do 1 more time. If you feel confident to do this with a full straight legs, you can do that. Otherwise, just do knees down. If you feel kind of a halfway version would be 1 leg. And then if you feel confident, you can stack your feet for a full side plank. So hold, whichever one is the good challenge for you at this time. And then we're going to bring ourselves down. Now we're going to do a mermaid before we do side 2. So if your hips are okay, you're going to slide this leg back. You can sit on your block for this if you feel your hips are a bit tight to do this, okay? It is a good stretch for our hip joints sitting like this, okay? So you can sit up. Hold one hand on your shin, take the other arm up, and we're going to side bend. And this is the same from our beginning mobility. We're stretching the ribs. If you lean a little forward, you might find you can get into that back rib area that's often very tight, and breathe into it. And then bring yourself up. Okay, so we're going to do that side sequence on the second side. So bring yourself around side 2. So I'm lying with my body on the back edge of my mat, shoulders under my head, if that's okay. Legs in front of you, natural curves in my spine, hand on the mat. Lift my leg up. I'm going to reach it a bit longer. So there's that length. That's going to engage my underside. Bring my leg out in line with me. Now, think of pressing down with the bottom leg and up with the top leg. And then lower the foot down. So both legs are pressing out from the hip joints. And you're working the side hip muscles on the 2 legs at the same time. Okay, side hip, really important for walking well, for being able to balance. And we tend to get weak hips as we get older, so it's really important to try and do all these exercises or do things that keep them strong, essentially. Now hold it up, reach your leg a little bit longer, like somebody's pulling it out another centimetre, and we're going to do 8 circles backwards. 2, 3, keep reaching along with the leg, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8, and then take a rest. Now we're going to slide the top leg in front of us and let the knee rest on the floor. And we're going to lift and lower underside leg, inner thigh lifts. If you're not feeling your inner thigh, check that your leg is parallel. If you turn it out like that, you won't feel your inner thigh at all. So you've got to rotate almost big toe joint higher than heel. And that should really help you feel your inner thigh muscles, your adductor muscles. 2 more times. And then rest. Now I'm going to slide that leg out for our double side lift. So hand on the mat, make sure you're using your tummy gently, bring your legs up, bring into a straight line, try and feel really tall. 2 legs are going to go up and down. Breathe out, press up and down. That's it. 2 more times. Hold. If you feel okay, you can balance. Lift everything a little higher. And then relax down. Okay, we're coming onto our forearm. So on your forearm, so I'm going to start with one on my knees. If you want to do 2 straight legs straight away, just go for it if it's okay. Lift up your underside, push down into your forearm, hold yourself, side support. Breathe. 1 more breath. We're going to take a break. We're going to do number 2 version. You can straighten out your legs. This is my weaker arm that I broke, so I'm just going to do it a simple one again, but go ahead if you want to do straight legs. I'm just going to take 1 out. Hold. Breathe. Keep pushing away from the floor. And then come back down. Okay, bring yourself into the mermaid position. And again, you can sit on your block. If your hips are a bit unhappy like this, we're going to take our arm up. Try and really lift up through your side bend, breathe. And if it helps, it's quite nice, that little slight tip forward as if you're looking at your knee, and that helps you get the stretch through the side rib area. Breathing there. Good, and coming up. Now we're going to do our hip opening stretch, our seal puppy position if you like. So feet together, knees apart. You can take your hands behind you and just do this one where you're closing your legs and opening them. It's stretching your inner thighs and getting the hip mobility. Okay. If you're happy to actually do the rolling exercise, the seal puppy, come a bit forward onto your mat. You're going to have your hands and you're going to cup them underneath your ankles. And then in this position, we want to be really pressing our heels together. So if I do it sideways, my heels are touching. I'm trying to round my lower back and imagine I'm pulling my tailbone towards my ankles. So that should help you feel your tummy, and you should get a stretch in the lower back area doing this. So it's opening that area. If you know roll-ups aren't your thing, this position should be really giving you a good stretch, okay, in the lower back, if that's where you get the sticky bit. Okay, now you don't have to roll, just being here should be opening that part of your body and your hips. If you're confident to try the roll, you're going to try, just go ahead. It's going to be a scoop in and a roll back and a roll, trying to keep the shape of your body the same, The full exercise has 3 claps, if you know it. Clap, clap, clap. Roll, clap, clap, clap. Just keep going. And it should be a nice smooth roll through your back. Good, and then feet down. Okay, good. We're going to come around onto our hands and knees and walk to our feet, as we sometimes do. So bring yourself around one more time into a plank if you're okay in that position. Hold your weight here for a few seconds. And then we're going to lift our hips up, bring your feet in a bit. Now you might need to bend your knees to stick your bum out high, that's fine. Try and really stick your sit bones to the ceiling. We're going to bend one leg at a time. So this is creating a really good stretch down the back of the leg and the calf. Take big breaths here. Shake out your head, let it relax. We're going to walk our feet and hands towards each other. Round over, take a little breather. And then we're going to roll up to stand. So relax your arms, roll yourself up. And bring yourself up to standing up. Okay, good everyone. So just before, last little thing, something that's really good to do often is squatting. It's kind of a natural position humans should be able to do. If you haven't done this for years or you've got knee issues, I would just recommend doing a half squat, which is like this, as if you're sitting on a chair. So you're just going to like sat on a chair. This is a really good strengthening position, squatting, great for your hip strength and your leg strength. If you've been doing full squats with me, then this is where having a few books is a really good assist for many people. This is not for people with knee injuries, but you want to have your heels up and your toes down and practice being able to sit into a full body squat, okay? This is going to strengthen your knees, bulletproof your knees, okay, if you're in this position, not if you're injured, but if you're not injured, for future protection of your knees, this is a great strength. So you stand up and sit down with your heels raised. Okay, not if you haven't done it for years, not if you're a beginner or you've got knee issues. But if you're not and you're fit and healthy, this is really good for your lower back, for your hips and for your knees. Now, eventually we want to get rid of the block and be able to do it all the way down and up. You can see I can only really fully squat with my feet quite wide because my ankle's actually a little bit tight. So I think I have to keep my feet quite open. If you're really good ankles, you might be able to do it with your feet parallel. Okay, I can only do that with my feet on a little block because my ankles are a little tight, but it's something I'm working on. So there's something to do just, you know, in between exercise classes, practice a bit of squatting. Extremely good for your pelvic floor as well as anything else, lots of other things. And if you're not doing a full squat, do a half squat or a wall squat, just 90 degrees, really, really good strength on your legs. Okay, so just a little good squat inspiration. We're going to finish the last thing with a roll down. Okay, so bring yourself to standing, feet underneath you, arms relaxed, and just one time, really nice and calm. You're going to let your head nod. I'll do it sideways actually. So you're letting your head nod. You're letting your spine roll over. So think of each vertebra like a roll up. You're getting a stretch. Arms are relaxed. Head is relaxed. And as I roll up, I'm going to curl my tail under. So I'm trying to curve that lower back under. Bring my pelvis back on my legs. And then roll my spine up. And then just stand up nice and tall. And last thing, just stand tall and practice breathing. Getting that slightly deeper breath and fuller expansion of the ribs. And again, this is a really great thing to get the back moving more happily and being able to, you know, improve your posture is actually just getting that back a bit more movement when you breathe. Okay, that's all we've got time for today. So I'm gonna pause the recording. Okay.